Hi, I'm Sean Tierney, and this video is the second group's first session of the 2019 workshops for Java and FRC. I will be covering the basics of how to use Git and how to use robot Java. The video covers creating a robot repository with a tank drive and with basic ARM mechanisms with motors and pneumatic pistons. To work alongside this video, you'd need to have the following installed on your computer. 1. An active JDK, which you can get from the Oracle website, and 2. Visual Studio Code with the WPILib extension provided by FIRST, along with the Java extension pack and the Git extension pack you can find on the Extensions Marketplace on Visual Studio Code. The link for downloading these are in the description, and I hope this video is helpful to you. To just get started. So have either of you ever used Git or GitHub?
Well, yeah, but I haven't made like any repositories or anything. I use it to post an issue and to download some code for
Okay.
some stuff, but that's it.
Okay. So, do you know like what it is and like what it's used for, basically?
Yeah, it's just for code management.
Yeah.
So, actually, does AUR would count? Aren't you sort of repositories that usually uses Git?
Okay. Well, but do you know like how it works? Like how there's a local and an online version of everything, and all the branches and everything.
Sorta. I read up on it a little bit yesterday, so I have kind of a basic understanding.
Okay. I'll go over it anyway. So basically, like when you make a Git repository, that's basically like the name for a project on GitHub. It creates like an online version on GitHub.com, like a version on the server, you would call it, and there's also a local version that's just saved in a folder on everyone's computer. And so, basically, when you say like git push, that is a command that updates the cloud, updates the server to your local version. So git push. Let's write it for some. And git pull goes the other way. If someone else has pushed to the server, and you can pull those changes to your local. And basically, there are these things called branches, which are like different versions of the code, or they're basically different like pathways where you can change the code that can be merged together, but that still are independent of each other, so that multiple people can work on the code at the same time and not have to worry about conflicts until they want to. So it always starts off on a master branch, and for every branch there's two versions of it, a version on the server and a version on your local computer. Usually they'll match up, but if you're changing one, usually the local, then you have to push it to update the server. So it starts off on this master branch, and then you might diverge from it and start making some changes. These changes are called commits. So whenever you make a change, you commit it, which means you're putting it not only like saved as that file, but also saved on your local repository. Just call it branch 1 or whatever, B1. And then once you've committed everything and you've pushed it to the server, and you want to merge that branch back into master, you would go into master and run like git merge v1, and it would merge that back into master so that both the branch v1 and master are on the same page. And then everyone could run a git pull to put all that on their local version of master. So that's, and that way you can have like as many branches like going at the same time as you want, so that they don't conflict with each other until you do this git merge. And sometimes there are conflicts, but you can resolve them a lot easier than if you're trying to like run it without GitHub. So for the basics of GitHub, does that kind of make sense? Yeah. Cool. So we'll start off. Okay. Yep. We'll start off by making a repository. We'll have normally only one person would make it, and then everyone would be on that, but just so everyone knows how to make it, we'll do it. So if we go on to github.com, and then sign in. Then you can, there should be a button that says new somewhere, probably on the left. Okay. Now we can call it, let's call it 2019 class-FRC-robot. Or actually, maybe we can have it so that it's different from the one that I'll create. So you guys can say like, just like have the word fake in there somewhere. I don't know. Fake 2019 class. You can shorten it because the name of this one actually doesn't really matter. So the description, I don't know. You can just put a test repo or whatever you want. You can make it public or private. Yeah, whichever. If you want it to be accessible by people, by anyone, then you can make it public. Just do it. You can choose that one. We'll initialize it with a README. I'll explain that later, and with a git ignore. And in that git ignore, we can select Java. And we won't add a license. And then we'll create. Okay, great. So the README is just what displays. As you can see, it just has that like specific file name, so that it knows to do that. And the git ignore, basically what the git ignore, it just says what types of files.
If you could resend the invitation, he's waiting.
Yeah.
Because he couldn't do it the first time. Sorry
Okay.
to interrupt.
All right. Okay, I have invited Ethan, and he is here. Yay. Hi, Ethan. Can you hear me? Or hi. Nope, guess he can't hear me. Okay. Well, he probably knows what to do. But he should be able to hear me, or else that wouldn't be good. Ethan? I can't hear you. This mic's muted. If you could you unmute your mic if you can hear me?
Yes.
Ah, great, you can hear me. Huh. All right. Okay. So, if you could share your screen, you know what to do. All right. So, what I've done so far is we've made a new repository, and we've made a new repository, and I've explained some basics of how GitHub works. Here, let me just give you the short version. Once I all right. Okay, so, do you see that backwards? Well, Ethan? Yeah, are you reading this backwards like I am?
No, I see it. The white one.
Oh, cool. Well, anyway, basically, or actually, do you already know the basics of Git and GitHub?
Yeah.
Ah, so yeah. So just that there's two versions of every branch. There's a local and a server. Git push updates the server to your local version, and Git pull updates your local to the server version. Like if someone else has made modifications to the server,
yeah.
And then over here, there's different branches, and you can make them and merge them like you want. And on each branch, there's some commits. And once you have all the commits you need, you merge it. All right, great. Now, here, let me reshare my screen. So now, if you could sign into GitHub.
Right.
Oh, I don't actually see your screen. Ah, there we go. Everything's dark for some reason on your screen.
It says I'm sharing the Visual Studio Code window.
Oh. Could you share your entire screen? I think that works better. For whatever reason. Okay. So if you could go to github.com and sign in and create a new repository. Ah, great.
And go where?
To new. That new repository, there we go. So you can call it whatever you want. Could be like 2019 test repository, or and the description can be whatever you want. You don't really even have to put it.
Alright.
And then you can make it public or private, but you should initialize it with a README, and you should add a Java gitignore. Okay. All right, and you're caught up. Okay, so now, where were we? So we've made the online repository. Now we have to make a local version. So if you go onto Visual Studio Code, and you can do Control-Shift-P, and you should start typing clone. You should see git clone on the top. It'll ask for your URL. Just copy the URL of your online repository. And then once you've done that, you can select the folder you want to put it in. Often I find it's nice to have a like a folder called GitHub and Documents, or wherever you want it. Just a folder called GitHub for all your repositories. Okay. So then you can open that repository, and you can see pretty much there's just gitignore and all that. So now that we're on here, we can make some modifications to like actually put robot code inside it. So since this is just set up, we don't need a new branch. We can just keep it on master. Yeah, I think that's my computer, isn't it? Maybe. Yep. Well, anyway. So if you go to gitignore.io, that's gitignore. Then you can enter the right things that we want to account for. So Java, Visual Studio Code, Mac OS, Linux, and Windows, so that way it's the same on all computers. And Gradle. So if you have those 6 in there, then you can click Create. So it creates a .gitignore file in the right format. then you can just replace your current .getignore file with that one and save it. Okay. So that's Java, Windows, Mac, Linux, Gradle, and Visual Studio Code. There should also be Linux, but that is okay since this repository is just for you. And if you're not working on Linux, then it's fine. Okay. Okay, so once everyone has that, so that's the first step. You've made the change, you've saved it. So now, what you need to do is go into that third tab, source control, Git, and you can select the getignore, and you can stage it. That means it's ready. That's the file that you will commit. So for your commit message, you can just type in modified getignore. That's so in Visual Studio Code, once you're in your new repository, Yep.
Oh, there we go.
Okay. Oh, that's weird.
Says make sure you configure your user.name and user.email.
Huh. Make sure you. Wait, what are you trying to run in the Oh, you're just trying to run it. I
See
guess.
if I do. If I
If you wait, what did you try to do?
Oh.
New get ignore. Well, you're.
see,
Oh no, you want to. So it's staged. You did that in the message. So where it says message, press Control and Enter to commit. That's where you want to type it. Oh, make sure you're make sure you configure your user.name and user.email and get. I guess that's like a new.
it's okay.
So it's trying to upload all of my robot stuff that we did last time.
Oh, well, that's because you're not. Huh. Okay. Wait, where is your thing? Okay. Okay, so can you make sure here? Can you just like close your Visual Studio Code and then when it asks you to open it, then you put in the right folder? Seems to just have a hard time opening a folder for you. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Well, all you need to basically just wait. Can I see? Oh, it's like acting like it's all a new part of it. So all you need to do is just do the plus sign on the get ignore, and then it'll only commit that.
There we go.
It's kind of weird that it has all of those as possible things you can do. It does for me too. Wonder why. Anyway. Yeah. And then you can click the check mark or press enter. And then, so now it's updated on the local, you need to push it. So if you do your Control-Shift-P, this is how you do git commands because you have that git stuff installed. So you do git push.
The repository is no remote configured push to.
Remote's configured. Did it work for me? Let's see.
I saw in the tutorial online it had to do it with the terminal. And Visual Studio it had a bunch of steps, like actually telling it where it is.
Yeah.
Setting up your user.
Here. Okay, so what did it say?
It said your repository has no like remotes to push to or something like that.
Ah.
Push. Yes, your repository has no remotes to push to.
Did it work for? Has it worked for you?
I'm still trying to fix whatever.
Oh, right, that
Yeah.
username situation.
Yeah.
Huh.
Okay.
Maybe Google it. I'm not familiar with that.
Everything has all the answers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Basically how to survive.
No, here it is. Okay, got it.
And then stop and then
Oh, Ethan, are you encountering Edward's problem too? So
Okay, that should
somehow,
fix it.
like something went wrong in the cloning process. It seems.
Got it. Nice.
Oh, you got it. Awesome. What did you do?
You have to go to the git commands thing and set up your username and email.
Okay.
The answer I see here uses the terminal.
Yeah.
All right. So now it's just Caden's problem. Caden, if you can, I think an easy way to do it would probably be delete your repository, your local folder, and then just run it again. Wait, what did you copy over? Oh. Okay. Right, that's what I use, so that might be the issue.
Doing the same thing.
Okay. Well, we haven't changed the get ignore yet. So, Edward, did you push it?
No.
Okay.
There we go. Change. And
So that's the Control-Shift-P and just type it in.
and you can do that. So.
Okay. Great. Awesome. We did our first commit and updated it to the thing, to the cloud server, whatever. Great. Okay, so now we've got that. Let's put some robot code in there. So the best way I know how to do, how to put robot code in there is to make a separate folder, and you can call it whatever you want. Make a separate folder with all of the robot code, so that way you can use wpilib's create repository sort of situation.
In the repository?
Not in the repository, but you can put it wherever you want, just except for in the repository. Okay, so you can do Control-Shift-P and type wpilib, create new project. Okay. Now once you're at wpilib project creator, it's weird, it's not showing up for me. Let me try it again. There we go. Select a project type, template, and then the language is Java. And project base will do timed robot. So the project folder, just put it anywhere that's not inside your repository. And you can enter a project name. You can name it whatever you want, because we're gonna delete this folder right after it does its purpose. Team number can be 1492, and we can open the folder. So to double check, that it works, you should go into source and then Java, and then either main or robot.java. Then you can do Control-Shift-P and build robot code. Okay, it should say build successful.
It's already active.
Yeah, I have that too, but you can just ignore it. It should be fine.
Lag.
Might take a second to do all your Gradle stuff. Okay. Makes sense that it worked for you the quickest because you've done robot code before. Okay. Looks like it's going along for Edward and for Ethan. So while we're waiting for that, I could start explaining how some of this code works. So basically, the main class just says use the robot class, and the robot class has a few different methods. I mean, so do you both know how like FRC works? I've already explained it to you, but do you know how like FRC works with all the each match
Kind of, yeah, I watched it.
has like 15-second autonomous and the
Mm-hmm.
right. So robot init is run at the start of the match. So that works kind of similarly to like a constructor. Except it's just a normal method. And then robot periodic, you can put stuff in there. So it runs every 20 milliseconds in either autonomous or teleop. And then autonomous init starts with autonomous periodically during autonomous. Yep, it's all pretty self-explanatory. There's a test mode as well. Like on the driver station, you can select which mode to run it in, whether it's practice mode, autonomous, teleop, or test. Practice mode simulates an actual match where it'll do autonomous then teleop, and test mode just runs whatever is in test periodic. So that's how that stuff works. So the periodic functions work kind of like loops, but not really, since you can like update stuff and check stuff every 20 milliseconds, but you don't want to like do anything that stops the flow of that, like an actual while loop. You never want that in there, because then it'll never go to the next rotation, or it won't for a little while. Okay, looks like we are still waiting, right?
It's done.
Right. Okay, so like for autonomous, we'll end up using sort of using the what's it called? Using like timers and stuff to, or often we'll have encoders and we can read the values from there. So there are different sensors. Let's see. Is there anything we could do while we wait?
Mine is done.
Yours is done. Great. All right. All right. Ethan, it's yours. Oh, compilation error. Ethan, or so I guess it can't find your Java, right?
Yeah.
Can you like go into the terminal and check like has Java like worked for you recently, like on this computer?
Yeah.
Okay. So can you actually go into Finder and then dang it, where were those environment variables?
Oh gosh, they were under. You have to go into about this PC, then advanced system settings, and
Oh, yeah.
it's somewhere in there.
I think if you just type environment variables into your search bar, that also works.
Where's that?
So in your like Windows search bar, the bottom left, if you type start typing environment variables, there, then you can edit system environment variables. That's a lot easier. Okay, then you can click environment variables. And then, so inside path, right? So can you click on path and then click edit?
And then
Okay.
you want to hit new.
Yeah. Then in path, you want to hit new. And, oh, well, he should have done the, he should have created a separate environment variable called Java home and then set it to that, right? So,
I just said the Java installation folder.
right. So, could you, yeah, click browse and then browse, go to your Java installation folder, or that'll be in this PC, yeah, program files, I think. Yeah. Then there should be Java somewhere. Oh. That's weird. Okay.
Maybe under the x86.
Might be under the x86, yeah.
Where?
So not program files, but program files x86. Okay. Java, and then the bin, yeah. And then OK. And OK. And OK. And OK. And then you might have to restart Visual Studio Code.
Okay.
I check that it works with Java.
Right. Well, if it doesn't work on Visual Studio Code, then we'll check. It might be mad at you because you only have a JRE and not a JDK. So if you have, well, we'll try this again, but if this doesn't work, then you should install the JDK. Yep, that's the problem. Okay. So you can just click on get the Java development kit. You might want to, let's see, if you need to log into your Red Hat account, you should just go onto Oracle instead.
Alright.
Alright, so while you guys are waiting for him, you can copy the files from that new folder into your repository. And make sure that you include the hidden files, like the dot settings, the dot wpilib, all that stuff.
So the folder for the WPILib should be copied into the repository for all the files inside it.
Wait a minute, let me see your screen.
So I can see my repo. This is the folder.
Okay, so you
There's
have,
files inside it.
oh, so you have your, wait, what is that folder?
That's the
Oh.
folder that WPILib made with all the robot files.
Huh, okay, so you actually did make your separate robot folder in your,
I didn't make it in my repository. I just made a new folder and I made a robot inside that folder.
oh.
So that's what happened.
Well, it seems like the robot is still inside your 2019 class FRC.
That's the repository.
Yeah, it is. But don't you see how it's inside it? Right?
Yeah, it's in this folder.
Right, but it'll be fine. Yeah, you can just copy those contents.
Skip. And then I can do it this way.
Yeah, that works. That's fine.
That's what I thought it should be.
Yeah, I'll do it. Okay. No, that's it. Where is it? Here it is. Okay. Wait a minute. Well, anyway. When I tried to clone it, it must have been like the same name as a folder that I already have, so it got confused. Oh well. Oh. Seems like Ethan left the call for some reason. Weird. Okay. Well, anyway, once you guys have done that, then you can make sure that all of those, then you can just commit all of those files being added. So you can, at the top, there's like a plus at the very top that can add all. Okay.
It's not showing up my source.
I think.
I should have copied the WPI into here.
Okay, so wait, what's wow? That's your thing that's inside it.
Should I take them out?
You should copy everything that's in there and put it in place of your wow.
So should I push it?
Yeah, you can push it.
There we go.
Okay. Okay, so now now you can delete your WoW folder.
Yeah. There's a double git ignore, so I'll see which one's there.
Okay. It should be the one that was already in
Yeah.
there rather than the WoW. Yeah, great.
But it's still saying your password is not looks configured to push the.
Okay. Still not saying that. Ah, but you did the push last time, right?
There's nothing. I don't think so because there's nothing
Oh.
new on my repository online.
Okay. What's your what's the message again? Can you like try and maybe Google it, or you can yeah. It's probably easier if you open your terminal and just do a git push. Right. So it's probably just VS Code being weird.
Username.
Oh.
And
Awesome. Yay. Oh. Oh, did you only have the? Did you only commit that first one? Here, run in that terminal. Run a git status.
So get all this crap.
Yep. Yeah, you can just do git add period.
Alright. So git commit dash m minus logic robot yay. There we go, committed. And
Great.
But git push. Writing 29. There we go. And
Ah, much better. Yeah.
so focus.
All right. Huh. It's a lot of files. Let's see. Wait a minute. Before you commit that, let's just see what are all these files and why aren't they? Shouldn't they be ignored by the git ignore? It looks nice and long. Yep, that's the right one. And wait, what are in all those folders? Can you go back to your? Let's see, is that all the right folders?
This is copied
Bin
directly
build.
from the API.
Yeah, it looks right. Looks right. Okay. Okay, sure. I guess just commit all of them and we'll see what happens. Could be just interesting to see if they all actually appear on. Okay. Then once you push, you have to figure out. So you need to reload in order for it to.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think that's pretty much correct, yeah. Though it should be ignoring some of that stuff. Dot get ignored, spelled right and all that. That's, I don't know. That's just weird that it says all the like Visual Studio Code stuff right somewhere in there. Weird, because like on mine, or actually, let me just go into. Let me just make sure, go into the one that that caution made. That, yeah, there's a lot less stuff there. Weird. Well, anyway, we'll just kind of chalk that up to a weird GitHub thing, and I'll just invite you to one that I make here. Come on. Thought I already made one, so I have to actually resolve my own issues. Alright, fine. Or we could just have Caden be the owner, and you can invite us to your repository. So on your repository in settings, there should be a invite whatever. Collaborators.
Oh, yeah, that would make sense. Oh, password. Okay. Yes, that makes a lot more sense. So
Okay. Well, that'll be Taekwondo, Taeseando. There it is.
Alright. And Edward, what's your account name?
Ratchet 03.
That is not the name.
RATCHET.
That's 03?
303.
Oh. There we go. And it's done.
Great. Okay. Okay. Actually, can you invite Ethan to? I can give you his email, and that should be enough.
Yeah.
So Ethan Greenfield, AZ.
It just says Ethan Greenfield. AC. Is that? But I see Ethan Greenfield.
Well, but I think if you finish the email address and here, I can probably find him somewhere. Here. See if he's on here. Okay. Yep, that's his name. Okay. So now we have everything set up. We're ready to actually code on one thing. Yeah.
It only took like an hour.
An hour, yeah. Half of our time here. That's okay. Yeah. Alright. So, let me... So, you can all clone that, clone Caden's repository. And here. I guess the fake one will be the real one. We could just what's it called, rename it and make it, though I do kind of like the irony of the fake, definitely fake one that we're going to be using. Okay. Okay.
I haven't gotten
in your email?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Then, once you've cloned it, um, yeah, it's very weird. I don't know where Ethan went, and I don't know. I can't seem to reach him right now. I'm just gonna keep like sending him an invite every once in a while. Okay. Well, anyway, once you've cloned it, you can each make yourself a new branch. So basically, we'll all be doing like the same thing on a bunch of different branches, and only merge one of them.
How do you open the new thing for lake again?
Oh, to clone it.
Yeah.
So that Control Shift P, and then so that's the command for basically like use any of your extensions. Okay. So there should be a create branch option. You can name it like Caden-tank drive. Okay. So make sure your VS Code is open to 2019 class FRC fake robot. And let's see. Shift P, create branch.
Oh, the door's open.
How did that happen?
Oops.
It's the wind. I guess. I'm gonna make sure that my dog doesn't get out. Okay. So on that branch, we will make a tank drive. So a lot of teams basically just do this that we're about to do, if they don't have any other mechanisms. Okay. So in robot.java, so you all know how, I mean, you've already done this in our last session, but you know how objects work, right, in Java and all that. You said you're experienced, yeah. So in the class, we'll make a some joystick objects to start off. So the way Caution does it is they have two like big joysticks that they control it with, and they have an Xbox controller that another person works on for the mechanisms. So we can have a joystick, left joystick, and a right one. And we can initialize them in robot init. Control space is very helpful, as it tells you exactly what constructors you need to use, all the parameters. So left joystick will be in port 0, and the right one in port 1. You need to, yeah. Import, yeah, does that work? Can you save it? That's probably what it is. I don't see, it doesn't look like it actually imported it. Well, if you just click on the right of the word joystick, yeah, and then do a control space, then press enter. There we go. Okay, so you have your joysticks, and we're also going to make some motor objects. So the object name is Victor SP, and we can call it left drive and right drive. And initialize them in robot init. What's it called? Victor SP. So this can also be 0 and 1, since those two sets of channels are independent of each other. Like these are actual motor channels, PWM ports on the RoboRio, which is the computer of the robot, and the 0 and 1 are for joysticks are USB ports on the computer. And then in teleop periodic, this is where we'll actually use all that. So we can have left joystick dot get, what'll we do? We'll do left joystick, no, sorry, not left joystick, left drive dot set, and as the speed, we'll put left joystick dot get y, and that get y method returns the value from -1 to +1, where +1 is all the way backward and -1 is all the way forward. And we'll do the same thing, right drive dot set right joystick dot get y. Okay. And once you have all that, just to make sure we can build it. So that'll be wpilib build robot code.
Successful.
Great. Yep, it goes a lot faster the second time. And there we go. You understand that? Awesome. So, often we'll want to have this sort of thing in its own class, so that if we add like sensors and that sort of thing, we can keep track of it better. So, let's do that. Let's add not all that code, but like let's just convert it into a drive-based class. So that'll be under robot, under that robot folder, a new file. All right. So we can have package frc.robot at the top, just like how it is at the top of robot.java, and public class drive base. Well, you know how to make classes. Okay. So here we'll have, I think, just two fields, the left drive motor and the right drive motor. So that Victor SP, left drive, and right drive. And then the constructor will take in, we will take in two integers, the left drive port and the right drive port. And use them in their constructors. Okay. Okay, and then we can have two methods, and they'll both be called drive, so that one can have two inputs and the other can have one input. Oh, I forgot to say, the fields should be private and final. Oh. Okay. Okay. Have y'all learned about method overloading? Cool. And that's that. So now we can use that class in robot.java. Mm-hmm. Okay. We are all on our own branches, right? Not a master branch. Good. Okay.
What did you do with the left joystick? Right joystick.
I just left them alone, yeah. Yeah, at first I made a mistake. I accidentally deleted them instead of the drive motors. It seems like you have extra left drive and right drive motors, so you don't actually need those yet. Cool. So if you want, you can delete that extra Victor SP import at the top, since we're not using it in that class anymore. Alright, so now that we have that, by the way, any questions? No? Cool. Let's commit that. Okay. Okay. Then you can push it to your own branch. If you're doing it in the terminal, it'll probably prompt you to say -- setup stream whatever. Okay. Oh, we forgot to open an issue for this, but oh well. Alright, so are you pushed? Okay. So you can do that, compare and pull request.
Oh yeah.
And you should. Okay, so we have three. We have 3 pull requests. Tank drive, good, yes. I like it. Okay. So now we can like see files changed and all that, and that's a pretty useful one. Usually we would have like someone review them and either like approve, like in fact there's an option in settings to have it like only allow merging after one person has approved it. So now we can decide like which one. Where'd it go? Here it is. Right. So I'll probably just do mine, and since it works out, basically you can just press that big green button that says merge. Yeah. Great. Now we can delete this branch, and in fact you can delete all of your own But yeah, pull requests and branches. Close pull requests and all that.
How do I delete it?
So you'll have to keep it all at the bottom. At the bottom. Yeah. So you probably saw before you deleted it. It said like now this has conflicts. That's because to like there were it was branched off of master, and then master had some changes, and then that branch had some changes, so they diverged, and it didn't quite know which changes you would want, so it couldn't do it automatically. So we'll deal with that in this next thing we're doing, which is we're each going to like make an arm with its own class, and like pretty much what we're going to do is going to be like super inefficient and defeat the purpose of having classes, but we're going to do it anyway. Yeah, inefficiency. That's what coding's all about. Yeah. So make sure you're on the master branch. So if you do like git checkout,
I just took the thing at the bottom and showed the branch I was on.
oh yeah, that works too. Okay. By the way, like if you want like the git commands and stuff, they're on in your area, as well as Java stuff. So we have that, we're on master, and then we can make a new branch. And we can call it like, I'll call mine arm1, you can be arm2, and you can be arm3.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Zane's arm.
See if there's maybe an option to rename it, or you can always just delete it and rename and remake it. Oh, right. Let's make sure that we should have made sure that we had pulled before, should have made sure we had pulled from master before we made the new branch. Oh, I had a list of all those steps so that we wouldn't, then I didn't look at it. Yeah.
Yes, okay, I deleted my branch. delete everything and start.
Alright. So we got it that I'm arm 1, you're arm 2, and you're arm 3.
Okay, I'm on 2. Alright.
We should have used that opportunity to make a method, make an issue, so that it would be more clear.
I haven't made my thing yet, so.
Well, may as well, yeah. I'll just, if you can go over to my screen, you can see that Issues tab, and there's like New Issue. So basically, this is good for, as it sounds, making note of what you need to do. So, make 3 ARM classes and implement them.
There we go.
Okay.
So we go with
Okay. Okay. So, in your ARM class, you're going to have 2 things. One, a Victor SP, so another motor, as well as a piston, so like a solenoid. Here, let me make the new file. Happy pie time.
every single time.
Every time, yeah. I think last time I did it at like 3:14 and 59 seconds or something. So it can have them be like a rotator and an extender sort of thing. So you know how like pneumatic pistons work, right? It's just the 2 states. So it also has a set method, but that set takes in a boolean that's true if it's out and false if it's in. Okay. Um, so our methods can be like set rotator and set extender. And they'll be public methods since our fields are private and final. Okay. I can feel myself just like thinking slower and typing slower as the 2 hours go on. It's kind of funny. And then we can implement it in robot.java.
Will the extenders channel just be 0?
The extenders can't, yeah, except we're all going to have different channels. So let me figure this out.
I'm just going to set it to 0.
Okay, yeah, we'll change it in a sec. Okay, so my rotator port is going to be 2 and my extender will be 0. Edward can be 3 and 1 and you can be 4 and 2. Okay, and then in the teleop periodic, we can, will all be different buttons as well. So arm1 equals left joystick dot. So I can be. How about we can have like all of the rotators on the left joystick and all of the other ones on the right joystick. Okay. So you'll be using left joystick dot get raw button. And make sure not to forget your else so that it can go back to 0. So you can be button 2 and you can be button 3, and I'll be the trigger. Okay. Great.
What was that again?
You are button 2. Okay. And then you can be, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, you're already good, yeah. Edward, you have a get trigger, yeah. Oh, you also line 106 should be button 2.
Maybe right joystick?
Left joystick there. So the left's all the rotators and the right's all the extenders. Okay. So now, once you got all that, you will want to stage all those changes and commit it. You should include what number button you are in the commit message. You don't have to, but you should. It's fine. I keep telling you to do something and then adding a thing after you do it. Oh well. This isn't real robot code. No one's going to be checking our Git histories. unless I show it to Skylar. Then he's like,
Good to push now.
yeah, y'all are.
I think I just did it to master.
Oh,
Just did. That's weird. Why was I master?
did you check out? Did you do like git checkout in your VS Code?
Nope. So I did that to master.
Well, I guess we know who's pushing it to master first. Okay. So you can open a pull request. So, but now we should. Well, Edward, you created your own, or no, Caden, you did. So that's too bad. It would have been nice for you to pull request and then put closes the number of your issue, but that's all right. Just kind of note that you can do that with the keyword closes in the description of a pull request. And then I will create my pull request, which I did. Okay, so I'm going to resolve my conflicts first, so you can like see on my screen how I do that basically. Oops. Okay. Isn't there a terminal option over here? Oh well. That's fine. I can use a regular terminal. This would have been nice, so I didn't have to do this. Oops. Okay. Okay, so I'll do a git checkout to master. And I will, oh that's nice, it does update that. So I'll do a git pull. Great. And now I will do git merge with what did I call it? ARM1. Okay, automatic merge failed. Great. Well, I expected that because it has conflicts. That's what they look like. So between head and equal sign is the stuff that is already on master, and the ARM1 stuff is what I'm putting in there. So these are all the places that it's conflicted. Oh, I see. So you just kind of called it arm, I suppose. Here. Yeah, arm.java. I'm just going to kind of modify this and call it arm3. Okay, and then here, arm3, arm3. And put this above it just for the heck of it, and just delete all of this non-code. And then we'll put this below it. And resolve this last conflict. Yeah. Thought I could do multiple cursors, but I guess not. Not in VS Code. Is that all? Okay. So now we can stage all those changes and well, actually, I think what I should do instead of that. Oh, dang it! Why did I close out? That was silly of me. And also, why do I always put it in so many folders? Oh yeah. You know, you're right. You're right. You're right. Okay. Just kind of say like in the middle of merging. Yeah. Get commit to include merge. Oh yeah, that's right. I commit these first. Merge arm1 into master. Okay, and now get push, and it should be a-okay. All right. So now, okay, where is it? Here it is. All right. Got that merge arm1 into master and all that. Cool. So now, Edward, if you could do that on your computer, that would be great.
What were the commands?
They were so get checkout to get into master. So get checkout master.
This?
Yep. Get checkout master. Yep.
It's not. The repository.
It's just in its
Oh,
own
you're
folder.
right. You need to CD.
Is this?
No, just in
No.
your terminal. CD is in change directory. So like, but then yeah. So like you're in users. So CD. What's the path tier? Is it documents?
Yeah. Check.
Could probably copy paste the thing
Yeah.
at the top. Yeah, you got it. Great. Now, just make sure where you are. Get status. GIT. Cool. Now, get checkout master.
This.
Yep. And that moves you to the master branch. Then you can do git pull. So that now your computer is updated. And now you can do git merge in the name of your ARM, ARM2. Yep, that's good. And now those conflicts are in there. There are errors. That's great. And that is what we expect. Okay. So ARM2 is there and it looks good. And in here are all those errors.
Let's go to. Oh, I just called my line.
It's probably easiest to keep it as ARM for now. Fix the errors, and then you can refactor it, so you can do it all at once. You know what I mean? So refact, as in like rename the variable once you're done fixing these conflicts.
Okay.
Can you just hit like the accept the
Whoa.
change thing at the top?
Yeah.
Well, I can see it right there. Accept information.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't
Well,
even.
that just okay, wait. Undo that.
Yeah,
It's
accept
so both
yeah.
changes.
Oh wow.
There you go.
Fast.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Okay.
It's useful.
Oh,
It is
what
useful.
happened here?
Except it's not in the right order, but
We don't need order.
we don't need order.
Is this two?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Sweet. Then you can save it and commit all that stuff. Okay.
Push it.
Right. Yep. Great.
Yay. Interesting.
Awesome. All right. That concludes today's session. Hey guys, thanks for watching. I hope this video is helpful, and I'll see you in the next one.